the fixed web. And also, what contributed to the success of apps like Fitboard is, of course, the enormous success of the tablet. And Christian said yesterday, this is not a hockey stick, this is a steep pyramid. And well, he's right. And of course, I don't have to tell you that it's been an enormous success, not only for Apple, but all the companies out there, like Samsung, for instance, that has been quite successful the last year in selling those devices. So what are they about, those apps? Well, I just selected a few quotes from their own website, and what it tells is that what they're about is that they want to provide a new way of a new reading experience, actually, and that's what they do. But they put themselves in the center of attention, and they're consumer brands, right? So that's what they are. But we have a kind of a different approach to that. We want to put the company, the enterprise or the publisher in the center of attention. It's not about the magic, it's not about the technology, but it's about you as a company and or as a publisher who wants to tell stories and who wants to get that content on mobile devices. So
yeah, I mean, on the PR side, we see this with clients everywhere. Everyone has portals, everyone has newsletters, everyone has PDFs, you get email blasts, you get coming from all different directions. And publishers, obviously publications, where's Matt Grimshaw? We see, publishers can tell the story about this, but enterprises as well. The stories enterprises tell are the stories of, in many cases, why you want to work with this company. Is this, are these people that are humans? Is it just a machine that's happening? And the other thing that's really important thing about this quote here is hassle, risk, and anxiety. Think about if you've, and show of hands, who's had a custom app built for their company or for their enterprise? Did it hurt?
No.
Not at all.
We build it internally.
Oh, okay, okay. So you took internal resources, but is app building your business? Then it may not count. Because you're hedging against this by building your department and your expertise internally. But if I'm trying to do residential solar somewhere in the Caribbean, for example, I'm not going to hire an app developer, even though I have an amazing story to tell to a big audience. With Imagine, we take the anxiety away about building the app, and the focus is on the content again. So all that technical jargon, all the things that make life miserable and difficult and why doesn't it work, it goes away. So, it's you.
Like we said, it's all about storytelling, and of course you can tell those stories internally and externally. So internally, for instance, we're talking about communicating with your employees and reaching them anytime, anywhere, and assuring that they get the information they need to do their job right and also in a timely way. Well, the key is, of course, that information reaches your employees, and we think that with Imagine you can use apps to create branded ambassadors, but we think it also can support business development and sales functions. For instance, we can make connections to SharePoint, for instance, and assure that people that you have out in the field can access updated information, and always be sure that they have the actual information in their pocket, so to speak. But of course, there's also an external side to it. You can use apps to engage your existing customers, tell the stories that you want about your new products, or things going on in your company, about your strategy or stuff, other stuff. And of course, engage potential customers, people that are not already a customer of your company. you want to say a few words to that aspect?
Yeah, I mean,
Christian?
the important thing is to understand that we have stakeholders internally in our companies. HR is a stakeholder, the sales team stakeholders, management are stakeholders, and they have audiences. In some cases, the entire company is the audience. In some cases, just the business development team is the audience. In the case of the previous screenshot for the internal app, the 750 top management employees at the company came together for a retreat, had an amazing time. They were briefed on the strategy. They left with the app, and basically the experience of getting together as a management team went home with them on the app. And today that app continues to push content, strategy, information, team building things. So internal and external, these things can live in the firewall, in the sandbox. They can be public for all to download, and there's several examples that we'll have here. And that's is determined by a couple of bits you flip on the back end. We're not talking about redesigning an entire app, we're redesigning the firewall. And that's just a little bit of the magic here.
Matt Grimshaw asked me, are you going to talk about the nuts and the bolts? Well, this is one slide about the nuts and the bolts. Just a few words on the technology that we've used. We've built a very robust platform, and that's built on standards. But the beautiful thing about it is that you don't have to worry about the technology. Just be assured, it's built on standards, it's very robust, and you only have to worry about giving us access to the content, and we will make sure that it's on your app and without problem. And of course, keep in mind that it's a fully automated process. So that's very important to emphasize. Well, what we offer is the reach. Actually, Imagine is you could say a platform agnostic platform. You can publish anything on any device. So of course we support iOS, Android, and Windows 8, but we could also do a web site for you. And we sometimes jokingly say we could also do print for you, and then we're back to square one, of course, in publishing.
But this is a real, I want to just underscore this. You've built apps before. What happens when you go from iOS 5 to 6, right? What happens?
Oh, we get about 30 developers in there.
And you throw developers at it, right?
Yeah.
I would assume that there are some people in this company that don't, in this room here,
It's for us, it's core business.
for you it's core business. For most people,
It should be core business.
but it should be a platform that just works,
Yeah.
right? If the phone updates itself, or if IT pushes a security patch, it shouldn't mean back to 2 months for development, or 2 weeks, or 24 hours, depending on how many people you throw at it. So really taking those unknowns out of it, because those are great for app developer people to worry about, not great for people who just want to get the right content to the right audience at the right time.
Okay, we also offer you engagement, and we talked about before the magazine style of presenting content in our apps gives a really rich user experience. Of course, we have the connections in there for social networks. It can be Facebook or Twitter, but it can also be your internal social media platform like Yammer or whatever you use within your company. We offer cloud connectivity. I talked about that before, like connection with SharePoint or any other service that you use internally. And of course, because we're mostly on mobile devices, we can use the location also to further enhance the experience on the app. And of course, we can further enhance loyalty also. We have to ensure, of course, that people keep coming back and keep using those apps. And how do we do that? For instance, we offer very deep analytics. We record everything that's going on in the app. Whether you're a swiper or a tapper, what content you read, how long do you read it, at what time do you read it, what device do you use. That's all statistics that we can provide you, which give a deep insight in the reading behavior of the users. And of course, that helps you to give them the content that they want or need. The other thing is that we also have push notifications as a possibility inside the app. That means that you can alert your employees or customers to, well, whatever news you want to share or think that it's that's important. And last but not least, on the back end of our platform, we have algorithms that help you, that help to provide you with recommended content, and those algorithms learn from your reading behavior and serve you more, how do you call that, related content. Well, these are some of our clients, and for instance, Philips, an app we just did. I think Christian just told you a little about it. The 750 top managers of Philips have a yearly event, and this app we did for them was really to support that event, and you know, to ensure that they keep on sharing the things that were shared there. And one of our first customers is the Dutch Rabobank, one of the biggest banks in the Netherlands, and we are already on the 4th app now for them. You're seeing here one of the external apps that we've done for them. ING, another customer, you're also seeing here an internal app that we did for their private banking department. The one on the left corner is the one we just released for the European Parliament, actually the Information Bureau of the European Parliament in The Hague. And the other one is on the right hand side, it's the Dutch IRS. Well, about 30,000 people work there, and they have an extensive intranet, actually with an editorial team of 8 people that do nothing else than provide content for the employees there. But they soon discovered that nobody was using the intranet, and now that it's accessible through a mobile device, we are seeing that people are using it, and you know, reading that content and sharing that content. Where now? Christian.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, my view on this is a little bit more, I don't know, anecdotal. I guess the one that I keep coming back to is the European Parliament. Think of it what you may, like the decisions, don't like the decisions. There's a tremendous amount of great things that happen at the European Parliament level. All of these are stories. All of these stories can be told, should be told. They build goodwill. In dingy, beige-colored halls, somewhere in a file, they die. They even die on a website. They die on intranet portals, and most of them don't ever even make it into an email blast. So this is one way to liberate the good stories. Okay, we can surface and we can talk about the difficult stories. The app is equipped to take surveys. Add a survey to this, you get some instant feedback, you know, maybe on an issue, maybe on something on policy. With the Dutch IRS, a little bit different, 30,000 employees, all internal audience, so we're not talking to the outside world like we are with Parliament. But basically, this is not just an app for them that takes their intranet and turns this content into very usable, flowable, flippable, or tappable content that you can take with you. They have an editorial staff of 8 that staffs this department, treats it like a newspaper, puts the important stories on. If there's a change in policy, that might be important. I think on the tax side, if you know, one of the consumer tax departments finds a new loophole that can easily be closed by next month, we can pop this up, feature it, they get it, and right away you can fix that. Maybe not to Bert's advantage, I'm not saying that there's issues. And with Philips, again, you're not just storytelling, you're community building, right? 750 people, you can do that at most convention centers quite easily, or at a nice hotel, and then you have a good time together. You spend 4 days, there's drinks, there's great atmosphere, everyone is shaking their heads, nodding their heads, everyone goes back to their individual countries and bits of the world, and then what? Maybe it happens again next year. Maybe we pick up somewhere But this actually builds community. Those 750 go back to this app, they find themselves back into this app, and they find themselves back in this bonding experience. Besides that, management has the ability to push updates about strategy, new sales figures, you name it. You tell the story, this is the delivery vehicle for it. And I think, Wilbert, you're going to show us some of this, right?
Yep.